Hi, I'm Mike Sullivan, and you're watching Medfield.tv.
Access to our community.
Hi, I'm Alex Stephen from Life Transforming Treasures. I'm an author, a speaker, and a life transformation coach. Today, I'm your host on Live Your Passion. And I have with me here my guest, Dina Martinez, who will introduce herself.
Hi, my name is Dina Martinez. Of course, I'm the owner of a company, wellness company. It's called Growing Your Wellness, Alex. I'm a certified yoga teacher, a wellness coach, and most recently a TLS fat loss coach as well.
Yeah, I love
Yes.
that term, fat loss coach.
Yes, it is.
I think I need some of that, especially after the holidays.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
So Dina, thanks for coming. And I know our audience are gonna love what you're gonna share today, which is, all of us have challenges in life. And it's how you approach it and how you deal with it. And Dina gonna share some of the, it's a short show, so she's gonna share some of the wisdoms that she obtained through her journey with you all. And we hope you get some tools that's gonna help you with your challenges. So Dina, you're from Central America.
I am Honduras.
Honduras,
Yes.
yeah, sunny there.
Yeah, very.
And I want you to, give us a little background about your childhood growing up there and how it was at home with your parents and siblings. Give us a little background about growing up in Honduras.
Well, I am a daughter of two very powerful, successful business people, my father and my mother, with the equivalence of a fifth grade education, actually lifted more than 3 businesses. So I grew up in abundance. With all that, it was a lot of fun, very organic life. It was very rigid. The discipline in my household was very rigid to a point where it was painful, physically painful. Yes, emotionally. So a few things inside of me were broken as a child. Yes.
And how, could you tell us, the relationship with your parents, how did that affect you, good or bad, growing up, as a teenager and some of the experiences you had?
A lot of both, actually, Alex.
Yeah.
Which at this age now I focus on the good stuff, to
Right.
feed the heart.
Yeah.
But yes, as a teenager, it was difficult. Difficult to not want to go home. There was always that thought, oh my
Yeah.
God, I have to go home now. And it was never very joyful due to the restrictions and clipping off my wings. I see it like that.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
What were some of the things you enjoyed in growing up in Honduras now that you've been in the States for most of your adult life? Could you share with the audience some of the things that you enjoy growing up in Central America?
The organic life.
Yes.
The fields full with exotic fruits and vegetables, the fresh air, the freedom of just being in an open space. We had acres of land full with a lot of trees and vegetables and fruits, and I grew up with 5 dogs. So it was like a lifetime one of those kind of movies. Yes.
Sound like fun, because I grew up in Trinidad in the Caribbean.
Yes.
And, it's fun, the weather, the fruits,
Yes.
we live close to the beaches.
Yes.
So it's really a lot of fun. So I know you had some experiences in, back home before you came to the States. You might want to share with the audience, some of those experiences and what led to you coming to the United States so they could get a feel, of some of your experiences before you got here?
Besides the experiences of growing up in a very violent environment due to the rigid restrictions at home and rules, I was attacked when I was 15 years old by a boy in school. I was sent to the hospital for more than 2 days. I was told that I wasn't going to have any children, and my vision decreased after the attack. So it definitely broke me a little extra than I was already feeling. I kept going to school. It was humiliating. It was very humiliating. I think no 15-year-old should be exposed to such emotional pain at such a young age. But I went to school. I couldn't read for a long, long time. I couldn't read. I had the most awesome friends. They read all the books for me, and I did the tests, and I passed every single subject. So if anything, I look back and I admire that 15-year-old girl.
That was persistent.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And then after that, your parents decided, or around that time, a couple of years, decided that you should move to the United States?
Yes, yes, they did. I now see it as a way of rescuing me.
Okay.
They sent me away here, and I actually got lost at the airport. I was here by myself. I didn't speak a word of English, and I arrived to the airplane by showing my plane ticket to the security guards and people who I found, during my journey in the giant airport in Miami.
Yeah.
So, and it has been an amazing life since, full of a lot of journeys, of course, and lessons.
So tell us a little bit, you came here without knowing a word of English.
Yes.
How did you get over that challenge? How did you work with that?
I fell in love with the language and the culture immediately. Even when I was back home, I used to listen to music in English, and I never knew what it meant.
Okay.
So I fell in love with it immediately, and I went to Marmot College. I took English, and I dated American boys. So I needed to learn and practice. So that was fun.
Yeah.
And I found a job. I met my husband there, and I had a child. Although I was told I wasn't going to be able to have one, I did. I have a 17-year-old son.
Yeah.
He's my breath.
Brandon.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So it's I'm divorced now for almost 12 years, but every single part of that, it has taught me something good.
Yes. Yeah. So you taught yourself English more or less because you couldn't speak it when you came to this country.
Yes, yes.
So you found ways to, if survive is the word,
Yes.
to survive. Dina, could you share with us, what were your options when you came here? Did you have a choice that if you didn't make it, you could go back home?
It never actually crossed my mind. I don't
Okay.
remember my parents ever saying, if you get sad, just come back home. Not that they would anyway.
Yeah.
So no, the option of going back home was not there at that point.
Right. So you just wanted to persevere and succeed
Yes.
on your own.
Yes.
And how was like the living arrangements? Was it like the red carpet rolled out for you when you came to United States?
Thank
Or what were some of the challenges, and share with the audience, how did you get over some of those? Because I'm sure there's people listening to the show that, couldn't speak English, came here, didn't know anybody, didn't have money in their pocket. And, talk to people about that, how some of the challenges you had and how you overcame it.
It was not the red carpet dream that we all hope for.
Yeah.
Definitely not. I came here and I lived with my aunt, and she found me a job as a nanny, taking care of 2 little kids, which I taught them Spanish, by the way. So it was challenging, and I loved it. That's the only thing I knew. I owned a tiny little dictionary,
Yeah.
and every time that we would like to communicate, will be like 2 to 3 words. Me out tonight. So it was very, very limited. At the time I was going to Marymount College, but it wasn't very spread out. My communication skills were very limited still. So it was very challenging. I cried almost every night. I missed my parents. I missed my dogs, my life of freedom. So I was there for 2 years, and then I volunteered on this group. Was Group of Hope, I believe it was called. It was a long time ago. I found a job, the job that I worked for 22 years, and my life just started right after that, a different chapter.
So when you had this job for 22 years, and tell us about the job, some of the things you went through there. I know you had a vision to get promoted, some of the things you did, and some of the obstacles you faced and how you dealt with it.
Yes, it was the job that I actually liked, Alex. I was very dedicated to it, and I worked with over 200 men, very, very few women in the place. So it actually gave me the skills to be surrounded by a very manly environment. I see it that way now.
Right.
I was exposed to a lot of things that you're not very pleased with, and I wanted to get promoted. I wanted to get promoted because I was in love with what I was doing. So I went to school. I became an environmentalist, and the job opening was bypassed. It was given to someone else. Not only I was heartbroken, but it took something away from me. It took the passion and the dedication. It took a lot.
Right.
Yes.
But you got over that. I know it wasn't easy. It took you some time, and tell us how you made the transition, some of the things you did, and how you reinvented yourself, so to speak.
Yes. Well, during that period, 3 years went by and I was still in the same job. Not only I came up with this mantra, I don't belong here. Like I literally would go to work and say that to myself as soon as I would walk in the door. I don't belong here. Until it manifested into the miracle that happened in March 4th. So I'm no longer an employee of that company, and I'm the happiest.
You decided to leave.
Yes,
You
yes.
decided to leave. Without things being, readily available, you were still in transition. And,
Yes.
share with us some of the things you were doing. I know, like yoga.
Yes. Well, during all that period, since I was working in the company for 22 years, I went to IIN, the Institute for Integrated Nutrition in New York City, and it's a live training. So I was going to New York City twice a month for a whole year. At the time, my mother lived with us, and so she was a great help through the transition of going. I became a certified wellness coach, and it taught me holistic nutrition it has a lot of spiritual and self-growth. So that was something that I could utilize, especially going through so much at the time.
Okay.
And then I became a yoga instructor, fell in love with the practice. I love the way it makes me feel. I love the way it makes other people feel. So it's a combination of both.
Right, the wellness and the
And
yoga.
the yoga, yes.
Yeah, and you do kickboxing too, right?
I do. I do teach
no,
kickboxing on Saturdays.
You teach kickboxing.
Yes.
Any other things you do? Well, you do the new certification you
Yeah,
got?
just recently, 2 weekends ago, I got certified through TLSslim.com. So I'm a coach for them as well, which is based on fat loss. Instead of just the weight loss, I think we can be a little more blunt.
What's that name again?
Fat loss, yes.
Fat loss.
Yes.
Fat loss teacher or coach?
Fat loss coach, yes.
Fat loss coach.
Yes.
I love that too. Yeah, we all want to lose some fat.
Oh, definitely, yes.
So, in terms of, you give us a little background of then, how you came through, and I know you had some challenges and some things you get through. You have some really peculiar stories. Tell us about, when you bought your first car and getting your license. You're such a determined human being, and, it's just such a great story you could share with us.
Well, I did get my license right after, a year after. And I bought a car. It cost me $750, a shift stick car. which I have no idea how to drive, of course. And I bought the car, I got in, and I taught myself to drive it.
Yeah.
Yes, it was a little bit terrifying for my sister when she used to drive with me because every time we were on a hill, on a stop sign, my car will stall because I wasn't very good at it yet
The
with
clutch.
the clutch.
Yeah, yeah. I
So
know that.
we got good
So
laughs
it's
out of that.
determination.
Yes.
It's following your passion, being persistent.
Yes.
Being persistent, that's what you want to do. And I know, so that's your den, that's some of the things you went through. But what was your driving force? Like, what will you say was your why that got you up, that gave you all this energy to go forward to, as you look at your vision and you want to live your passion and make this commitment? Share with us, what was your why that really drive you and still drive you to this day?
Yes. Well, as a child, it was the freedom of being. And then I grew up, and then you are in this country that is very unfamiliar. It was very unfamiliar for me at the time. And then you just want to learn more, and that thirst becomes part of breathing. So that there's always wanting to learn more. And then I was a mother, I became a mother, and now my son is my breath. It is, I want to leave a good mark, a good legacy for my...
A good legacy.
Yes, for my son.
Yeah. And, our children, without us even knowing, they're looking at us as mentors. So they look at our actions, they look at what we do, and they learn from it. So we got to be aware of that. Yes. I'm amazed at the things our children tell us now that they looked at us. They were with us as my wife and I went to school full time. And they said they didn't know that they had a choice, that they could not go to university. They thought it was a given, it was automatic.
Yes.
So that was a good thing in a way, because they were with us while my wife and I went to school full time at Howard University. So, our children too is what drives us, and our granddaughter.
Yes.
That's our why, and we want to spend family time and have financial freedom to spend as much time with them as we want to, and we could work in that sort of environment together.
Yes.
And that's what we're doing now at Life Transforming Treasures. We're all working together, and it's great. So that's where you were, and now I know you're in a place where you love. But share with us, how you got here. What was some of the tools, some of the things that got you here in this position?
Besides the holistic practices from IIN and the yoga, then I found you.
Yeah.
And what you taught me were the most powerful tools I can utilize and combine all that with what was already in my life, which is forgiveness and gratitude. So you have no idea how much I am grateful, Alex, because you heard me cry, you heard me speak about it, you heard me say nothing, and it taught me to, it's like brushing my teeth. Forgiveness and gratitude is just part of an everyday lifestyle. And you're the one who took me into a deeper level of that combination. So I'm grateful.
Yeah, thank you. And I tell people this at Life Transforming Treasures when they do, transformation coaching with me. People want to get financial breakthroughs or breakthroughs in a relationship or some things that's going on in their life. And most of the times what I've seen, it's mindset. It's not because you don't have some technique down in whatever niche you're working in, but it's just your mindset that's keeping you back. And I tell people this, and the reason I tell them is because it worked for me, is I use a gratitude tool. And it worked for a lot of my clients. And it's amazing. Each client come with something different that they're looking for. But the same values, gratitude and forgiveness, open up the door.
That's right.
Once they implement it, no matter what it is they're searching for. So that's really great. And you could share with us, like, I remember when you did use this, when you decided to practice the forgiveness and gratitude, what opened up for you? What was the experience? I know you had long-standing issues with your parents. You might want to share a little bit how that opened up for you.
Definitely, that created a lot of miracles in my life before I go to the other stuff. My father was already dead by the time I discovered, but it was easier for me to forgive my father than it was for me to forgive my mom. And thank God I was able to get another chance because I fell in love with my mom all over again.
Wow.
There was no resentment, there was not, if anything, I love her with so much more compassion now. And I am so thankful to God that He actually gave me that second chance. A lot of people lose their loved ones and they die with that resentment in their hearts. And I can only imagine how horrible it must feel. So I have such a great relationship with my mother. We're very close. She's my best friend. She knows all my secrets, even the ones that she should not know. She knows.
Yeah.
So that created, as soon as that happened, Alex, there was, I mean, it was like a miracle. My life just completely opened. It's like I was carrying something over my shoulders and it's gone.
It's gone.
It's gone. With all that, not only my relationship with my mother blossomed, but every relationship in my life had the same effect. It was like a ripple effect. My mom and I, and all the others. So, in gratitude, the first thing that I do when I wake up, my eyes are open, is that one thing. I do my prayers and my meditation in the morning before the world wakes up.
Before the world wakes up.
Yes.
Sound like me, 4, 5 a.m.
Yes, that's the best time.
Yeah, the best time. Yeah, so that's great. And I know you shared with me, and when you did this, you didn't go to your mom face to face and forgive her or anything. You didn't go to your father's grave to do this. So you want to share with us how you did it and, how your mom contacted you.
It all happened here.
Right.
It happens inside of you. And that's the best way that I can explain it.
Right.
And somehow the universe turns everything around. And then I started visiting my mother more often, and there was this generous, it was so much that I wanted to do for her, and I wanted her to know how much I love her. Yeah. That it became sometimes overwhelming because I told her that. I told her that I repeatedly tell my mother I love her. Even when our relationship was different. I always did that. It's like I'm afraid that God will decide that today is her last day. I want her to know that I'm here, just in case the universe decides that, okay, Dina, so you did your part. So now she's coming with us. So I don't want to miss a minute.
I don't. Yeah.
No, Alex, I don't.
Yeah. So the thing is, it happens in your heart.
It does.
You don't have to actually go to the person face to face. You got to do the releasing. And holding on to resentment, as it's been said, is like drinking poison and waiting for the other person to die. It affects you.
Yes.
And when you do that release and you forgive and you live in gratitude, you're going to see, as Dina said, you're going to see miracles happen in your life. We had what I call unimaginable miracles happen in our life.
Yes.
So that's great. So tell us a little bit now, where you are now. We've been through then, how you did it. So tell us about now. How is life for you now? How is life for Dina?
Life is good.
Life is good.
Life is good. It's still teaching me lessons, and I think that never goes away.
Right.
Which is that's when our self-growth happens anyway. When the chaos pays a visit to us. Well, my son and I moved again to a beautiful, beautiful place right after I left the company, my job, and all these possibilities and opportunities started popping up out of nowhere. So I have developed a stream of incomes, different kind of ways of make money. It just comes to me. Opportunities, they're just arriving. So I think it has a lot to do with changing the way we think, changing the way we receive from the universe and people. Just not allowing to chaos take that away from us.
Right.
So yes, I'm very happy. My busiest, but my happiest.
And busy as well.
Yes.
Busy is good.
Busy is good.
One of the things I believe the audience gonna benefit from is if you could share that story, that incident when how you happened to move from where you were living in the duplex or
Yes.
where you were living in that apartment and the property you're living in now. I think people will love. I was blown away
I know.
when you told me that. I was just blown away. I think it'll give people some hope.
Well, I was moving in an apartment with my son, which I thought it was really nice. And then someone found my business card in a supermarket because I leave my business card everywhere. She called me and she said she wanted to meet with me because she had an opportunity to present me. Before this happened, I was given an eviction notice 3 weeks prior to that. This woman finds my card, my business card, calls me, I meet with her, and then she takes me to this other woman's house, and we meet.
Or mansion.
A mansion, a $2.9 million
Value.
house, yes. And we speak and we introduce each other and everything, and then she happens to mention when I have, this space. She's talking about someone moving out, and then this woman that I met, she says, well, you know what, Dina's looking for a place to live. And then she said, well, let me show it to you. And then I fell in love with it, of course.
Yeah.
And she said, okay, it's yours. So everything happened so quick, within 72 hours, Alex.
Yeah.
From getting a eviction notice to just sitting there with the notice, literally, and saying, a small prayer, I trust you. Just take me to where you think I belong. The phone call from this woman and meeting the other woman, and now we're living in this mansion, and it's wonderful. It's wonderful.
So share with the audience, 2 years ago, if you got an eviction notice, how were you gonna how you think you were gonna respond?
Biting my fingernails, pull my hair off, and never once think of praying or trusting the universe.
Right.
I would have gone into panic mode.
Panic mode.
Yes.
But now you learn to release, you learn to trust, to
Yes.
pray.
Yes.
Yeah, and that is what we need to do. Challenges gonna come, adversity gonna come, but it's how you react to it is really gonna determine your destiny.
Yes.
Not really what happens to you, but how you react to what happens to you,
Yes.
and that's the case. And I was really blown away with that story, and just seeing more and more abundance coming into your life, and not just coming because you're sitting on your couch and meditating, but you're taking action.
Yes.
When I speak to you, you go into, is it Atlanta you went to, or Charlotte to the
North
event?
Carolina.
North Carolina
Yes.
to the event. So you go in places, you're networking, and you're looking for multiple streams of income. You're looking for opportunities,
Yes.
and it's coming to you. But the thing is, Dina is taking action.
Yes. It's like wanting to lose weight and not exercises and changing the way you eat. You know? So it goes together. The abundance comes to us when we do the work.
Right.
Taking action, like you
You
said.
gotta take action.
Find out the why. What is it that you want to do? What is that passion? What is that thing that makes your belly go on fire? That's how you know, and then go for it. And network, connect with people that know about it, and grab it, embrace it, and
So we could say that you live in your passion.
I am.
You live in your passion.
I am.
Right. So before we close, is there anything you would like to say in conclusion?
Well, to offer my services, you can
Right.
visit my website at www.growingyourwellness.com. There's a lot of great information there about wellness, yoga classes, most recently the fat loss programs. I also do detoxing for groups and individuals alone. So
Yeah. Well,
Yes.
thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Dina. I know this has been some great information in a short period of time, and people gonna benefit from what you share. That there is hope. You know, you gotta have courage. You gotta have faith,
Yes.
and you gotta persist and take action, and things gonna come your way. But most important of all, from talking to Dina, is that you gotta be in gratitude. It works. It opens up doors. Gratitude is the key to manifesting your desires. You cannot complain on what you have and expect to get what you want. And she's a living example. And when you forgive, the weight is taken off your shoulders, and opportunities and abundance comes your way.
Yes.
So in closing, I want to say again, I'm Alex Stephen, your host on Live Your Passion. My website is www.alexstephen.com, and I would like to give a free product to everybody that's looking on. And you could go to www.pdpowerpack.com. That's a personal development package, a lot of audios, videos from Les Brown and other people in the personal development field. It's pdpowerpack.com. I want to offer that to you for free. And thanks for listening and looking at us at Live Your Passion. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot, Dina.
Thank you for having me,
Yeah,
Alex.
right.
Production support provided by Medfield.tv. Access to our community.